San Francisco is currently preparing a massive new neighborhood right in the middle of the bay. Treasure Island is slated for 8,000 luxury homes, offering panoramic views of the city skyline. While developers pitch a high-end future, Navy contractors have been quietly hauling away 16,000 cubic yards of toxic dirt from the site. This chart shows how soil samples on the island compare to the EPA's safety standards. In some areas, radiation levels spike to 400 times the absolute maximum limit allowed for topsoil. These contaminants are concentrated in the top few inches of dirt, the exact layer sitting beneath the yards and sidewalks where families currently live. Those residents are reporting clusters of health crises, including aggressive cancers, sudden seizures, and severe birth defects. Yet Treasure Island has never hosted a nuclear power plant. In fact, a century ago, this entire landmass didn't even exist. The explanation traces back to the island's dual history as a world-class exhibition site and a high-stakes military training ground. In 1933, San Francisco was finishing the Golden Gate and Bay Bridges. To celebrate, the city wanted to host a World's Fair, but they lacked a flat, open space large enough to hold it. The Army Corps of Engineers solved this by manufacturing land from scratch. They dredged 29 million cubic yards of sand from the bay floor, pouring it over a shallow shoal until they had 400 acres of brand new land. By 1939, that sand was transformed into the Magic City. A $1 million illumination program made the Art Deco fairgrounds appear to glow against the dark waters of the bay. Inside the walled fairgrounds, visitors walked through wide plazas leading toward the 400-foot-tall Tower of the Sun. The fair used a unique architectural style called Pacifica, centered around a colossal 80-foot stone goddess representing global unity. The island was intended to eventually serve as San Francisco's permanent international airport, playing host to a fleet of massive silver Pan American flying boats. It was built to be a permanent monument to a high-tech future, but that vision only lasted for 2 years. When World War II broke out, the fair closed early, and the U.S. Navy seized the island in 1942. The military demolished the fairgrounds to build barracks, processing up to 12,000 sailors every day for the war in the Pacific. After the war, the Navy used the island to support Operation Crossroads, a 1946 program that involved detonating nuclear weapons over a fleet of ships in the Marshall Islands. These tests were designed to see if warships could survive an atomic blast. The ships that stayed afloat were left saturated with radiation. The Navy then towed at least 6 of these irradiated ships, including the USS Independence, directly back to Treasure Island to be anchored and studied. The island also hosted the USS Pandemonium, a mock-up vessel built on land and used to train sailors in nuclear decontamination. Recruits practiced scrubbing radioactive materials off the ship's hull to prepare for the possibility of a nuclear war. Accidents were common. Following a spill in the 1950s, sailors dumped 200 barrels of radioactive waste directly into the water off the island's coast. By treating the island as a laboratory for atomic warfare, the military transformed the soil into a permanent reservoir for radioactive waste. The naval base closed in 1997, and the land was returned to the city. The old hangars became film studios, and the Navy began the process of clearing the way for new housing. Developers currently maintain the island is clean, but cleanup crews have continued to find pockets of toxic dirt as recently as 2010. At least one civilian cleanup worker was pulled off the job after his monitors confirmed he had reached the maximum legal radiation dose. This leaves the island's current residents in a difficult position, living on top of the same soil where contractors are still finding hazardous materials. San Francisco is moving forward with thousands of new luxury homes, betting on a future built on top of 400 acres of soil once used as an open-air classroom for the nuclear age.